Everyone, we are back on our Q&A lives where we answer your questions on parenting and wellness and self-care. My name is Malin and I help parents create giving relationships with their children without using punishment or any harsh parental methods. And beside me I have Leah, who's an expert in nutrition, self-care, wellness and stress management. So, do we have anything more to say before we start this off, Leah?
You know what? Give me just a second. I'm going to make sure that we're actually on Facebook Live here.
Yeah.
Real quick. And
no
then.
worries. Okay. Until then, I can just talk about our coming masterclass. And we are having a 1-hour masterclass on the 18th of November and November the 21st, where we will deal with how to manage the stress that comes with the holidays and how this affects your children, your relationships with your children. And we do this for $25, but as a viewer of these lives, you have a $10 discount. So just stay with us and we'll give you, we'll just tell you how you get the discount in the end of this live.
Yeah.
So, okay. Leah, are you done?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Perfect. Okay. So here, I'm going to have 2 questions today. So the first one is, I have a 2-year-old nephew constantly takes off all his clothes and runs around naked during his visit to my home. His daddy, who brought him over, just shrugs. I feel like I shouldn't say a thing. Is this normal? It's perfectly normal that 2-year-olds take their clothes off and wants to be naked. That's normal. But I don't think that's your point with this question. When it comes to his dad's behavior, it depends. I don't know much about this situation, but I think and feels that this is a matter of a communication issue between you two. So I think that if he find out his dad's attitude to his son running around naked, because some parents just think that's normal and they don't think it's a big deal. So just find out his attitude to this in this question. And this doesn't mean, even though he thinks it's fine, doesn't mean that you think it's fine. So in your home, it's your rules. So think about what's your boundaries. Where's enough for you? What do you want? Is it all right for you that he's running around naked, or do you feel that that's enough? And if that's enough for you, then you have to tell his dad. And that's your responsibility to say what you want. And that's nothing wrong to just telling what you want. So tell him just straight and honest what you want. And I mean, he can take this answer in different ways, but that's his problem. So just tell him what you want. Think about it and tell him. And my next question is, what's your opinion on other adults speaking up or discipline another's child? It takes a village to raise a child. That's really all I have to say, but I think you want more. So a few years ago, it was completely different. Before we had so much more people involved in raising our children. So today's parents have a much different task than parents yesterday, because we are much more alone in raising our children. This depends on what culture you're in and how's your family doing with dealing with children and upbringing. But generally, we are more alone today when we are raising our children. And I see nothing wrong at all for other people disciplining another's child. Nothing wrong at all. as long as it's being done with respect. So even though you're angry, even though you want to really, really be there saying no, do it with respect. You can always be angry, and nothing wrong with that, but always treat everyone else with respect, and that's kind of the main thing. Otherwise, no, I don't see anything wrong with that. So that's actually all I had to say about that.
Okay. Good advice. Simple, straight to the point. That makes it easier sometimes, I think. I think there's so many, well, we were just talking about this before we came on. There's so many different opinions and perspectives and advice out there, and sometimes just straight and to the point is the easiest and best way to go, for sure. So, I am Leah Borski. I know Mullen introduced me at the beginning, but in case you missed it, I'm here talking about nutrition and stress relief and self-care. I'm a best-selling author of the book Eat to Beat Stress, and I coach ambitious women who need to feel more harmony, energy, and relief in their hectic lives. And so I'm here talking today. Mullen and I decided to team up because she is a parenting expert and helps parents deal with relationship issues and behavioral type issues. And we started talking and realized how much our own, well, she already knew this, but we put it together, how much our own energy, our own attitude, our own emotional state affects our children and the family overall. And so I incorporate the things that we can use to take care of ourselves first, so that we're better able to take care of our children. And I know that many moms get stuck right there because they think it's selfish to put ourselves first. And if that's something that you're worried about, or that automatically comes up like, I can't do that because that means I'm selfish, or I'd feel too guilty, or all those things that come up, I just want you to know it's actually not. It's not selfish. You don't need to feel guilty. There's things that you can do for yourself with your children. So if you are worried about feeling like you're neglecting them to take care of your own self, there's ways to get around that. And also just overall, when you feel good, when you're at your best, you are best able to do and be with your kids. So I just wanted to repeat that. I've probably said it a gazillion times since we started this live series, but I feel like it's really, really, really important, because I feel like a lot of moms will hear that self-care or, relative terms and like shut off and think, oh no, that doesn't apply to me because I'm too busy, or that's selfish, or whatever. So I want you to know there's easy ways to do it that you can fit into your day no matter how busy you are, and it's not selfish. So I got a question about travel, and I was thinking, because we have this holiday workshop coming up, beating the stress for the holidays. This was a really good question because I know a lot of us travel during the holidays with our families, and it can bring out some really nasty stuff when we're dealing with extra from other relatives, being around so many extra people. It can be very stressful. The travel itself can be stressful. The kids being out of their own element and out of their routine is stressful. And then, if you're staying with family who's not used to having kids around, or spending a lot of time with family who's not used to having kids around, it can be really, really overwhelming and stressful, and that's not fun. So I have, her question was, I travel a lot with my family, and I have a hard time staying healthy and snacking enough and managing my exercise to feel the best. Do you have any tips on food and how to think about that? I do. I have a lot of tips about that, actually, probably too much for me to cover today. But I wanted to point out that, especially during the holidays, this is a big thing, because if we tend to like, oh, it's the holidays and we can load up on, it's kind of like a free-for-all, like, oh, it's a special occasion, I can eat all the cookies, or, you know, whatever, I'll wait until New Year's to start this new healthy thing. And like I said, it makes situations that we're in with extended family and people that we're not around regularly but we love, it can make it really tense and difficult. So it's important for us to keep our nutrient levels up, be rested, be emotionally and physically in a place that supports us, feeling good and having those enjoyable moments during the holidays with our family. So I put together a list of some foods. The person that messaged me, I actually had messaged her back because I had a couple of questions. So it depends on where you're traveling. If you're traveling overseas, or I guess to me, overseas is outside the U.S. Malin is traveling, but it's not like overseas to her. So to me, overseas is like outside the U.S. I've pretty much only traveled inside the U.S. So we talked about a little bit of, it's going to depend on what's available in the place where you are. So, but I have some foods and snacks that are easy to keep in your hotel room if you don't have a refrigerator or a microwave. What we normally do for my family when we're traveling is, I love to have a fridge, like a mini fridge and a microwave in the room. And I kind of expect it, but we've had situations where that's not available. And so you have to make do. So I have some tips that help with that also. So we generally will do like a simple breakfast in the room, something that's very high in nutrients and easy to do and kid friendly, because all that is important. So things that I will bring. Now you can pack this with you or you can buy it when you get there. If you're road trip traveling, it's easier to pack and bring with you. If you're flying, it's not. And I made that mistake one time because I'm used to road trip traveling, and we were flying and I tried to bring like a lot of the stuff that I normally would bring when we're in the car, and it didn't go well. It took up too much space in our bags, and we had to buy like an extra bag at the airport because our bag was overweight. It was so awful. But it was Virgin Airlines, and the guy was so nice to us, and he like sold us this. It's like a canvas bag that they use to put car seats or something in. It's just like a canvas protector bag thing. For $15, he's like, it's cheaper than the overweight fee. And we just started throwing stuff in there. It was so embarrassing. My husband was so mad at me. I told you we shouldn't bring all this stuff. But I was like, no, because we have to have our healthy food. And I didn't want to go shopping when we got there. But, you know, whatever. What's done is done. But so I learned that lesson the hard way. And I won't say, like, pack all your stuff in your suitcase if you're flying, because that's probably not going to work well. But so you can shop when you get there. There's some easy things that you can keep in your room, and it doesn't matter if you don't have a fridge or a microwave. So Cold whole grain cereals like grape nuts or shredded wheat or plain Cheerios are really, really good and easy. And they're more satiating than like your typical cereal that kids like. So anything super sugary, you want to keep it under like 5 grams of sugar per serving. Anything higher than that is probably not a good choice. So another thing that we'll do is instant oatmeal packs. So you can make your own, or you can just buy the plain oatmeal packs and some disposable bowls and spoons. And what I do is I'll use the coffee pot in the hotel room to brew hot water. Or if you have another way to get hot water, you can use that also. But in my experience, the easiest way, especially if we don't have a microwave, is to just brew a hot pot of water, excuse me, and use it for that. And then I'll keep fruit. So some things that are easy to keep non-refrigerated, so apples, oranges, bananas. Bananas are easy to break up and put on your cereal too. And another thing is yogurt, if you have a fridge. So you can do fruit with yogurt. A lot of hotels, especially here in the US, will offer like a continental breakfast with your room, like a lobby breakfast. And most often I've seen they have yogurt available down there. So that's an option too. And then you can like add your own fresh fruit if they don't have any down there. And then nuts and seeds. So these would be easier to pack in your bag, especially since they can be a little bit more expensive. So if you can buy them in bulk and then pack like a container to bring with you. But Brazil nuts are a really good one for when you're traveling because they're loaded with selenium and the other nutrient I'm trying to think of just popped right out of my head, but they help your body convert the calories that you eat to energy. So they're very high fuel food, and they're big as far as nuts go. So like 3 or 4 of those with a piece of fruit is a really good snack, and that will sustain you for quite a while and keep your energy up. Also, chia seeds or flax seeds you could add to your yogurt or your oatmeal or your cold cereal with the fruit, and that will help keep your tummy satisfied for a really long time. So then some of those you could bring like in your day bag with you. So if you're out sightseeing or just traveling around visiting family or whatever, Cliff bars are one of our favorite things to they're easy and portable and easy to just throw in my purse, or natural granola bars. You can also keep whole wheat bread and natural peanut butter in your room and just make quick sandwiches if you're in the room midday for a nap or in between activities or events, whatever, and add fresh fruit on that. And then trail mix, so just a combination of different kinds of nuts and then dried fruit. That's easy to bring anywhere with you, and it's a little bit goes a long way. So when the kids start getting cranky, let them have a little bit of that. Or if you start getting cranky, that's probably a sign that you need a little bit of that too. Let's see. You can also take some of the fresh fruits with you in your bag. So like oranges, apples, bananas, I mentioned, they travel really easily because they're not super delicate fruits and they don't need to be refrigerated necessarily. Unlike berries or grapes or things like that are easily smashed and don't preserve well if they're not refrigerated. Veggies too. If you can get to a market where they have the pre-cut like snack packs of veggies, you can grab those and bring them with you or keep them in the hotel. Carrots, celery, and broccoli are 3 options that I like that can go for a pretty long time without having to be refrigerated. And let's see, I did have also some restaurant tips because I know sometimes there aren't a lot of options available for shopping, or you don't have time to really go and figure out what to buy, what can you keep in your room, how much can you eat in the time that you're going to be there, all that kind of thing. And so some people I know just kind of either don't have the option or don't want to bother with it. And I get that. So, and honestly, restaurants, even when we're traveling and I bring food with, I'll plan for like breakfast. I do ourselves as much as I can, and then snacks, and then we'll usually do like lunch and dinner out wherever. Or if you're visiting family and you're eating with them, there's kind of not a lot you can do unless you want to be that person who's like, I only like my food this way, and then like everyone gets mad because you're the picky person. So that's up to you. I'm not going to get in the middle of that, but there are some things you can control. So you can control what you put on your plate, and in restaurants especially, I have a couple of tips for you. So skip fried foods and simple carbs as much as possible. So fried foods like hash browns or French fries, that's usually a typical breakfast or lunch side. You can ask for fresh fruit or garden salad or steamed vegetables or soup, something else instead of those. And then simple carbs would be like your standard pancakes, white toast or sandwich bread, things like that. And then if you can avoid fatty or fried meat as much as possible, that will help too. All those foods that I just mentioned really tend to bog us down. So if you eat that, your energy is going to be lower. And if your energy is lower, then your mood is probably not great. And if your mood is not great, then you're going to have a really not fun time being with your kids in an unusual environment and being around a bunch of people that you're not used to being around. So that's something to keep in mind. It kind of has this avalanche effect. So some better options for breakfast if you're eating out are you can get like a veggie omelet, whole wheat French toast with fresh fruit, scrambled eggs with salsa and whole wheat toast, or fruit and yogurt parfait. And then lunch and dinner, so you want to opt for grilled meats, so chicken, fish, shrimp, lean beef like London broil or flank steak are both really good cuts of beef. They're very lean. Whole wheat wraps, and then some sides I think I mentioned before, but also cottage cheese, brown rice or wild rice, beans or baked potato or baked sweet potato with toppings on the side are all good options. And I want you to know most restaurants have at least a few of those options, even if they don't list them on the menu. So don't be afraid to ask your server. They're usually very happy to accommodate people. So don't worry about that. Just ask. And you can ask, if they label something as being fried on the menu, ask them if they could do it grilled instead. Sometimes they can't because they're already pre-prepped, but sometimes they can, and they will do that. So those are my food tips. And then exercise. She mentioned, having trouble getting enough exercise while she's traveling. So for me, I'll usually, if I can get out without waking everybody up, I'll go use the hotel gym. So I always pack like workout shoes, go use the hotel gym, or just walking around if you're going sightseeing or doing a lot of things outdoors, any of those kind of things. If you're not like sitting all day, then walking around is a good way. It doesn't feel like you're exercising, but it's a good activity. And then if the hotel has a pool, if you can play with your kids in the pool, that's a really good activity. That can be a workout easily. 20, 30 minutes in the pool with the kids will wear you all out. So don't discount the activities that you're already doing. And then I also like to bring like a resistance band. So it's the plastic tubing with the handles on the end. I'll bring those, and I'll either bring workout DVDs that I have with our DVD player, or I have some streaming workouts that I can just load up on my phone and do in the room while the kids are still sleeping, and usually my husband is too. So I'll get up a little bit earlier before them and do that just to get it done out of the way before we head out to do whatever we're going to do that day. And if you want recommendations for good workout streaming videos, I can help you with that. Just message me or comment below, and I can throw some ideas down there for you. So that covers it for me. I know that was a lot of information that I just threw at you. So if you didn't have a pen and weren't taking notes, because I usually do. So I actually was just thinking I have more tips than this. So if this is something that you find helpful and would like more of, comment below and let me know, and I'll create a PDF, like a simple what to eat while you're traveling kind of PDF, and we'll give that as a bonus for the people who join the Surviving the Holidays Masterclass. So we're doing the Masterclass the 18th, which is next Saturday. We're doing a morning class, and then we're doing a weekday evening class on the 21st. It's a Masterclass. We're going over all these stress busting and relationship and behavior things that come up during the holidays that get piled on top of everything else that we're doing, like traveling and shopping and cleaning and packing and buying the presents and doing all the things. And most of us know, as moms, we get the brunt of that. We normally are the ones to take on all that stuff and try to make this wonderfully magical, perfect holiday experience for our kids, and we run ourselves ragged trying to do it all, and we miss out on a lot. And I don't want that for any of you this year. It can be different. And Mullen and I are putting together really an amazing tool to help you. It's 1 hour of your time, and it will save you so much time, so much trouble, so much stress over the next couple of months. We really, really want you to be there. So it's a $25 masterclass. If you're watching the lives that we've been doing for the past 2 weeks almost, we are offering a discount, a special discount just for the viewers who are watching the lives. So I'm going to put a link to the Facebook event below. It has all the details for the masterclass, the 2 dates for you to choose from. Right below the date, there's a link to register. You're going to click on that. You're going to put in your information. Where it says coupon code, you're going to type in Happy Holidays, and that will give you a $10 discount to join us on the masterclass. There's that awesome pop-up with the discount code again. I love that thing. And so we really, really want to see you there. I hope that what we've shared with you today has been super helpful. And over the last 2 weeks, I feel like we've really worked hard to put together some really good and helpful tips for you just throughout these lives. What we're bringing to the Holiday Masterclass is going above and beyond that. And so you need to be there. If you're doing the holidays and you're a mom, you need to be there. So I will drop that link right below this, and we'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same place. Looking forward to seeing you there. Did we have any questions during this? I did not even look.
No, I haven't seen any. So not today.
Okay. If you do have questions after watching, drop them below. We will come back and answer what we can or feature your question in the next live. So all that said, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.